Hey everyone, welcome back. As promised, second video about Origins 2024. This is going to be my top 10 games of the convention. So last time I did a little video about the games I was happy I picked up. There are a few on this list that would have been on that list, but this is like the better list, so here they are. But yeah, this is games that I either played or checked out at the convention. Actually, looking through my list, no, this is all games that I played a full game at the convention, which is cool. I managed to play a lot of games at the convention, and there's some really good ones that did not make this list. So, without further ado, let's start. Number 10 is Crokinole. So Crokinole is a dexterity game. Some might say the dexterity game. And I had played it many times before, but I taught Bob, I taught Jonathan. I actually wound up playing 3 games with Bob, and I won 2 of the 3, so I won our little contest there. Crokinole is just a great game, and my friends who own Brown Castle Games were there, and a lot of my other friends were working for them at the convention. And yeah, they ran a great area. They sold a bunch of boards, as they always do, because it's a great product. So check out Brown Castle Games. Number 10 was Crokinole. Someday I'll get myself a Crokinole board. Great game. Number 9 was Obsession. So ahead of time, I had already planned with a few people, like, let's watch the rules video and like plan to play some bigger games. Because a lot of times at a convention, you wind up getting games from the library that are like, like a half hour, 45-minute game. You can play quickly because people have stuff going on, people are coming and going. But I wanted to play a couple longer games, so one of the ones we planned for was Obsession. So I played this with Bob and with David and Sarah as well. David and Sarah had played on Board Game Arena, and they were able to run the game for us, which was great. Obsession is like a Regency era theme where you're trying to social climb by hosting events. There's a little bit of like kind of hand building. There's a little bit of worker placement, kind of, and like becoming asymmetric as the game goes on from what other people. I mean, you start asymmetric, becoming more asymmetric, and really focusing on events. I had a great time. It's probably not the kind of game I would pick up. It takes a little long for how complex it is, but like the theme is great. Like, talking in a fake British accent and like acting like you're in the Regency era, fantastic. Yeah, number 9, Obsession. Number 8 was the other long game that I planned ahead of time, and like watched rules videos and stuff like that. And this is Blood Rage. Blood Rage, very famous game from Eric Lang. I played this with Andy and with Bob, and yeah, it's just like Vikings at Ragnarok, and you're just fighting all the time, and you get points for having people different quests and doing various different things, and you can upgrade your guys. You can get these big monsters. Um, I wasn't disappointed. I mean, I made the top 10. Clearly, I quite enjoyed it. It was definitely very different than what I thought. Like, I was thinking something along the lines of like Nexus Ops, or like, like an area control game where you're doing a ton of fighting like for those areas. And it kind of is, but it's much more about the cards and like drafting the cards. So yeah, really good game. I would definitely play it again. A little bit weird, but I did like it. Yeah. Number 7 is the first of the ones that I actually picked up here, and this is Switchbacks. Switchbacks is a new game from Allplay in which you have these numbered tiles you're putting down, and you're trying to put your hikers on the tiles on the mountain. And I was super excited about this ahead of time, and man, it did not disappoint because this is so mean. It's incredibly mean. Like because in order for your hiker to score, you have to be on a row of 4 tiles that are in in consecutive values. And so someone's doing the like 11, 12, 13, and I have the 14, but they're already working on that. I'm not going to put the 14 there. Or maybe they've got the 12 and the 13 and then the 11, and I'll put the 30 in between the 11 and the 13 or whatever, and like just try and mess them up. Also, got a perfect score on my first turn, or my first game, and yeah, taught it a lot. I really like it. I really like Switchbacks. Big fan. Um, Number 6, Baseball Highlights 2045. So Jonathan got in Friday night, but he, of course, didn't pay for a full convention badge because he was only going to be there Friday. So I got Baseball Highlights 2045 out of the library, and we just played it in the corridor. Like it was kind of quiet there. Like nobody really walks past like in that corridor. Um, and it was great. I've wanted to play this game for a long time. It's a quick two-player baseball game. The theme is really cool. It's one of those games where if you know how baseball works, it really helps you learn the game. It was a little bit tricky at first to like read the rules, play, and like know what we were doing. Um, but yeah, it was really fun. Like, and I think we did the whole thing in about an hour and a half. You play like a little season in which you build up your team, and then you play a World Series. So it's also nice to kind of ease us into it by giving us that little inaugural season. Also, really cool that like we had a rules question, and right when I was looking up the rules, some guys walked past and were like, "Oh, I love that game." I was like, "Cool, we've got a rules question. Can you tell me?" And then they did. It was great. Like, man, I love conventions for that very thing. Just like, yes, I love these games. Everyone else around me, these 17,000 people, also loves games, and that's amazing. Um, that's number 6, Baseball Highlights 2045. Number 5, I almost picked up. I will probably pick this up at some point. This is Tangram City. Tangram City is, I think, the newest game from Uwe Rosenberg, um, in which all players are putting out these little tangram pieces on their board to make a city. Um, there's scoring at the end, but there's also a lot of scoring over the course of the game because at the end of the round of placing 4 things down, whoever has the biggest rectangle, so let's say you have a 3x4 that's completely filled in, that is 12 points. See, did that math on the fly right there. Yeah, I really liked it. Another game I was able to fill in my board completely the first time through and like almost bought it right away. I was like, oh, I'll see if I can trade booth credit. And that didn't wind up happening, but I was like, I bought too many games. I'm just going to let this one go for now. Great game. Looking forward to playing it again. Tangram City. Number 4, and I can't believe it's this low, but man, there were some great games I played, is Things in Rings. This is not out yet, but it's available for pre-order. And I taught this game a ton, but I also got to play it, especially Wednesday night when we wandered over to the all-play booth to basically learn a bunch of the games we were going to be teaching the next day. Things in Rings is the Venn diagram party game. You'll have one player who's the knower, which I was doing a ton because and they're not really playing the game. They're kind of more running the game like a game master. They know the rules associated with each Venn diagram, and then a player will be like, I bet this goes here. If they're right, they get to go again. If they're wrong, the knower puts it where it actually goes, and they draw a card. First person to play all their cards wins the game. That's basically the entire game. It is so much more fun than it sounds just explaining like the gist of it. I mean, it does sound fun, but like it's great. Like just about everyone I taught it to was like, this game's amazing. Disappointing that the shipment didn't come in and we couldn't actually sell it. But at least it was there for demo. And yeah, I'm definitely picking up a copy of this one. Number 3 was the last game I played at the convention. Right before my final shift to the all-play booth, I was wandering the expo hall and I played In the Footsteps of Darwin with Susan and Jonathan and Bob. This is nominated for the Spiel des Jahres, so there's a lot out there about it. And in this game, basically, you are drafting these little tiles. It's kind of a draft. It's more just like selecting one. Super simple, and they all give you points in different ways, and you're trying to put them out on your board. If you make 4 in a row, you get another little point token thing. And there's ways you can, certainly pursue a different strategy than other people. But it says half an hour for the time on the box. I think that's actually accurate. Maybe not with a 5-player game. I don't know. But we played a 4-player game and we played it in about half an hour, including learning. Like, yeah, super fast. I could see this becoming one of the great like gateway games, like entry-level games. Yeah, like I would potentially take this out and teach someone this over like maybe even Ticket to Ride. Because Ticket to Ride can run a little long, super quick, and people will probably enjoy it. That's In the Footsteps of Darwin. Number 2 is Through the Desert. And I also got the little Bazaar expansions here, which is like 4 different module expansions. Through the Desert's a game from the late 90s. Allplay just came out with a new version. I played this with, I think it was me, Andy, and Bob. On Wednesday, we played this right before um, Bob and I were going over to learn the games from All Play. So yeah, I love teaching it, love playing it. This is has some similarities to Go, but you can play multiple players. This is like 2 through 5, I think, and it's just it plays super quick. It's super easy, and there's so much depth to it. This is Reiner Knizia, and like you can tell, this is a classic Reiner Knizia game. Yeah, I'm excited in playing this a lot more and looking at the expansions, seeing what they have to offer. Number one game for the convention. I do not own it yet. Man, this was good. So much better than my expectations. Even Rolling Realms. Played Rolling Realms with a group of 6. Who else was even in that group? It was Andy, Brian, Bob, Jonathan, Susan. Um, and we played this Saturday night. We just needed like a 6-player game to play in under an hour, and boy, it's from Jamie Stegmaier, the owner, one of the co-owners, and like lead designer guy from Stonemaier Games. And this is a roll and write he designed during the pandemic, and the theme is like all of their other games. There's also a bunch of promos that for like other games that I know and love, like um, uh, what was I guess? Oh gosh, can't even think. Feast for Odin. Feast for Odin's in there. Um, but yeah, like it's a little roll and write where you're working on 3 cards at a time, and they all have different rules. And there is so much depth and strategic decision making packed into those 3 cards, and like those particular 3 cards, like I mean, just because. So we played. I think our first round was Wingspan, Tapestry, and one other game. And I can't remember what it is now. But regardless, I like kind of did a little bit of Tapestry, but I focused on Wingspan and focused on the other one. And like that particular combination, it could come up and I could play it completely differently. Um, yeah, just a lot going on. I'm really looking forward to picking up a copy of this one sometime, and some of those promos because I'd love to, play like 3 other games, like 3 little mini games based on bigger games at the same time. Super cool. I know they're coming out with another version later on this year called Realms Redux, and yeah, I want to pick it up. I want to pick all of it. Pick up all of it. I have a problem. Thanks for watching. Had a great time at the convention. Um, Looking forward to next year. Looking forward to other conventions. Man, it's great. If you haven't been to a convention yet, hit me up. We'll go, and I'll make sure you have a good time. I'm going to end it there before it gets more awkward. Bye.